The kidnappers returned me the same day. It was a rainy Friday evening and I was walking home from work, headphones on, completely lost in my own thoughts. The streets were almost empty. Suddenly, a black van stopped beside me. Before I could react, two men jumped out, covered my mouth, and dragged me inside. Stay quiet. One of them shouted. I nodded nervously. For the first few minutes, nobody spoke. The van sped through dark streets while I sat between them, trying to understand what was happening. Then, because I get nervous when things are silent, I started talking. So, do you guys do this often? No answer. I've always wondered, how does kidnapping work? Is there training involved? Do you get employee benefits? The man on my left rolled his eyes. I kept going. You know, this reminds me of a documentary I watched. Actually, speaking of documentaries, let me tell you about this 3-hour one on penguins. For the next hour, I talked non-stop. I told them about my favorite movies, my childhood memories, the plot of every TV show I had ever watched, my opinions on pizza toppings, why cats secretly run the world, and a detailed explanation of a dream I once had involving a dancing giraffe. The kidnappers looked increasingly exhausted. At one point, the driver turned around and yelled, "Can you please stop talking for 5 minutes? I smiled. Of course. By the way, did I tell you about my collection of interesting facts? Another 40 minutes passed. I explained why I thought aliens probably avoid Earth because of our traffic. I shared my theory about why socks disappear in washing machines. I even started singing songs when I ran out of topics. The van suddenly pulled over. The two kidnappers stared at each other, then the driver sighed deeply. "We can't do this." "What do you mean?" asked the other man. "I mean, we've been listening to him for 2 hours." They both looked at me till I smiled and said, "Oh, that's nothing. Wait until you hear about my school years." The driver immediately opened the van door. "Get out." "What? Get out?" "But I thought you kidnapped me." "We did. So why are you letting me go?" The second kidnapper handed me a bottle of water and said, "Because kidnapping is a crime. What you're doing is torture." They dropped me right outside my house and drove away at full speed. The next morning, I found an envelope at my door. Inside was a note. "Dear sir, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Please never speak to us again. Regards, the kidnappers." And that is how I became the first person in history to be kidnapped and returned on the same day with a written apology.